This is a breakdown of every single Yautja aka Predator that we have met across the nearly 4 decades of this franchise. Hey, welcome back to ScreenCrush, I'm Colton Ogburn. Since 1987, the Predator franchise has evolved from a survival thriller into one of science fiction's most beloved monsters. A monster that can transcend time and genre. We've seen Dude go from evil cackling villain to reluctantly adored anti-hero. And this back and forth between villain and unlikely ally has continued over the years as each installment of the franchise has had something new to offer to many versions of the Predator that we've met over the years as we've learned more and more about the galaxy's greatest hunter-warrior. And remember, the Predators aren't your typical movie monsters. They are ritualistic hunters defined by honor, prowess, and a deep respect for worthy prey. Their hunts are tests of self and rites of passage in their culture. And each film has explored a different facet of that culture, from the silent ritualist of the original Predator to the clan leaders of Predator 2. There's also the ceremonial initiates of AVP and the conflicted modernist of the Predator. Together, the films of this franchise form a cultural tapestry that spans centuries. So I'm going to go through each movie in order of release and break down each Predator. We begin with what we'll refer to as the Jungle Predator from the 1987 original film. Here we see a Yautja stalk an elite squad of commandos led by Major Alan Schaefer, aka Dutch, in the Central American rainforest. This Predator hunts only those who are armed and capable of fighting back, collecting their skulls as trophies, a ritual that reveals both its savagery and code of ethics as not a hunter looking to eat its prey, but a hunter looking to prove itself. And despite the Jungle Predator being a brutal warrior out for blood, he's also fair. When Dutch confronts the Predator with no weapons, the Predator disarms itself before continuing the battle. Now, once the Jungle Predator was fatally wounded in their fight, he laughs maniacally before activating a self-destruct device, destroying itself rather than letting Dutch claim victory. This Predator's death cemented the Predator not as a mindless monster looking to eat its prey, but as a warrior species bound by honor and pride, making it all the more terrifying. And when I get anxious, I have this really bad habit of biting my lips. And it turns out that all I needed to do to stop this bad habit was to replace it with a positive one. And that's why I started using Fume. Guys, I have been talking about Fume on this channel for years because it's one of my favorite products that we promote, and it really worked for me on so many levels. And I want to be super clear. Fume is not a vape or an e-cig. There's no nicotine in the product. It is something totally different. It's a simple and satisfying way to replace bad habits without inhaling anything harmful. Fume includes no smoke, no vapor, no nicotine, just natural flavored air that gives you something to reach for without the chemicals. Instead, it uses plant-based cores that taste great. My favorite right now is orange vanilla, but there are tons of other flavors to choose from. And I know you probably have your own bad habit, but sometimes you need more than willpower to stop it. You still need something physical to reach for, and Fume is that alternative. And I also love the built-in fidget that makes this incredibly satisfying sound. This is an award-winning flavored air device that you can use anywhere, and it is 100% nicotine-free, no batteries, no charging, just grab it and go. More than 700,000 people have already added Fume to their daily routine, and I totally get why. It's simple, satisfying, and it doesn't come with any of the downsides of smoking or vaping. And right now, if you order the Journey Pack using my code, ScreenCrush, you'll get a free Fume topper. It's this little rubber piece that goes on the end of your Fume, and it's great for chewing. So if you've been thinking about changing your habits, this is the perfect first step. So go to tryfume.com/ScreenCrush or scan the QR code on screen to grab yours today. Now back to what I was saying. Next came Predator 2 in 1990. Now here we saw the hunt move from the jungle to the city of Los Angeles. So we'll refer to this one as the City Predator. This Predator was younger and more brash. This Predator studied the city and used its gang wars as cover for its own sport. This City Predator differs from its predecessor in temperament. While the Jungle Predator was disciplined and calculated, the City Predator is impulsive. When it starts targeting police officers, it attracts the attention of Lieutenant Mike Harrigan, who ultimately kills the Predator after a brutal chase on rooftops and through subway tunnels. In the film's final moments, Harrigan encounters a clan of predators who reveal that their species has been visiting Earth for centuries. One of them even rewards him with a flintlock pistol dated 1715, a token of respect and a tease of the Yautja's ancient traditions, and this is also a gun that we would later see in the film Prey, which of course takes place prior to Predator 2. I guess you could call it a prequel. Next came Alien vs. Predator, where we meet Scar, Celtic, and Chopper. The film reveals that ancient Yautja once guided early civilizations of humanity to build pyramids that served as ritual hunting grounds. Every century, young predators would travel to Earth for a rite of passage hunt on the galaxy's deadliest prey, the xenomorph. So we see the three Yautja arrive for their hunt on Earth. Celtic, the largest and most confident, serves as their leader. His arrogance, however, ends up costing him dearly when he underestimates a xenomorph, leading to his brutal death. Chopper is taken by surprise early in the hunt as well, killed before proving himself and serving as a reminder that even the galaxy's greatest hunters can fall to carelessness. But Scar we get to see mature over the course of the film. Initially, he is brash and reckless, kind of similar to the city predator, but over this film he develops a mutual respect for a human explorer, Alexa. Together they destroy the alien queen, and Scar marks his mask with the acid blood of the xenomorph, symbolizing his ascension into adulthood. But during their brawl before the alien queen was defeated, she was still able to stab Scar with her tail during the fight, and he soon dies from the fatal wound. Now in this film we also see an elder Yautja who recovers Scar's body and recognizes Alexa as a fellow warrior and gives her his weapon, like in Predator 2, linking the films through a shared code of respect. But I should mention that AVP is definitely not considered canon to the Alien franchise, and for the most part it's not considered canon to the Predator franchise either. Anyway, we find out that Scar was also impregnated by a xenomorph facehugger, and in the sequel, Alien vs. Predator Requiem, we see the rise of the Predalien. Now in AVP Requiem, the Predalien is taken on by what most call the Wolf Predator, a lone predator who is known for his ability to clean up intergalactic messes. We see the Wolf Predator dispatched to Earth to deal with the xenomorphs and the Predalien that escaped the crashed ship that wound up in Colorado. Now, unlike other installments of the franchise, Wolf's mission is not a sport hunt, but a containment hunt. His demeanor is methodical and precise, and Wolf's job is to preserve the secrecy and honor of his species by erasing evidence that could hurt their reputation as the warrior hunter species. Now, in his final battle, he faces the Predalien, and the fight ends with both being destroyed by a nuke. Predator is one of the greatest action movies of all time, and to celebrate it, we have designed this awesome new parody merch at our merch store, ScreenCrushMerch.com. To honor the manliest handshake in cinema history, we have the Dylan in Dutch. There's also my personal favorite, where the Predator uses his laser to play with cats. We also have celebrations of the greatest lines from the movie, Get to the Choppa, and I Ain't Got Time to Bleed. And in honor of Badlands, we have Deck the Predator, a spoof of Dora the Explorer. And on the other side of the franchise, we have a Xenomorph Tamagotchi. We've also got the classic Xeno cereal and the chestburster with a hat and cane like in Spaceballs. Links for all of these are below, and now you can become a store member to earn rewards and get free stuff. Next came Predators. Now in Predators, we meet a subspecies of Yautja that are larger, stronger, and far more ruthless. The film is set on an alien game preserve where the universe's most dangerous creatures are abducted and dropped for sport. We meet three super predators called Berserker, Tracker, and Falconer. Berserker is identifiable by his black armor and bone-like mask, and he serves as the pack's leader. Now, he's brutal and arrogant and views the hunt as an exercise in domination rather than the ritual that the Yautja typically consider the hunt to be. We even see him kill one of the classic predators. Tracker we see use his alien hounds to flush out his prey, and Falconer uses a robotic drone for surveillance in the hunt. Now, in the end, we see Berserker killed in a primal showdown. Now, what this film really did for the franchise was paint a picture of sorts of the civil war within the species. Traditionalists versus the new generation of Yautja. Next came The Predator, where we meet the Fugitive Predator, a Yautja rebel and lone warrior who has fled to Earth to prepare humanity for a coming invasion. Unlike his kin, the Fugitive acts as an anti-hero of sorts. He's less hunter and more messenger. He's basically Paul Revere. So we see him pursued by both humans and another predator, and he ultimately dies at the hands of this other predator, which is a genetically enhanced upgraded predator. This upgraded predator stands over 11 feet tall, and the upgraded predator is the pinnacle of Yautja bioengineering. a hybrid infused with human and other alien DNA. Unlike traditional hunters, this predator is not driven by honor, but by domination. His mission is to eliminate inferior predators and lead a new evolutionary wave of the species. Ironically, his enhancements make him less cunning and not as great of a hunter. He is a creature of brute force, relying on physical superiority rather than tactics or strategy of the hunt. And ultimately, it's his arrogance that leads to his death at the hands of human soldiers. And then came Prey, which was set in 1719 on the Great Plains. Prey introduces the feral predator, an early form of Yautja, less advanced, more primal, and driven by instinct, and there to prove itself as a worthy member of his tribe. Now, his weapons are simpler than what we've seen in previous installments of the franchise. He has bone armor, analog cloaking, and an animal skull mask. So we see this feral predator land on Earth to test himself against the planet's most dangerous creatures, working his way up the food chain until he encounters the film's protagonist, Naru, a young Comanche hunter who is also embarking on a first hunt of her own, despite her people's tradition forbidding women from the hunt. Now, in their epic duel of hunter versus hunter, the Yautja falls short and dies at the hand of Naru. And next came Predator Killer of Killers, where we meet the shield predator, the sword predator, and the bullet predator, each named after their featured segment of the film, which takes place in different time periods. The shield predator is more primal and uses his brute strength, while the sword predator leans into his tech, and the bullet predator is even more advanced and has a particular fondness for its ship, and this shows a growth in tech and war tactics across the generations of Yautja. Now, it was also in this movie where we see the warlord predator, aka the Grendel King, who abducts humans who have killed Yautja, and he forces them to battle. And then comes Predator Badlands, where we meet Dek, a runt of his clan who is viewed as weak by his father. His father, Nor, orders his older brother, Quay, to kill him, but his brother refuses and saves Dek, blasting him off to the planet Genna just as his father decapitates his brother. Dek travels to Genna, determined to bring back the beast known as the Callus to prove to his father and his clan that they were wrong about him, and to then have his revenge for the murder of his brother. Dek is our first true protagonist Yautja and shows a different side of the classic movie monster, a Yautja who wasn't accepted by his clan, a Yautja who was betrayed by his people, and who now has carved his own path in life and shows what it means to be a true alpha in a true clan. So across nearly 4 decades, the Predator films have gradually constructed one of the most interesting alien societies in science fiction. These films that make up the franchise as we know it have revealed a civilization defined by recurring cultural traits and evolving philosophies. And it was nice seeing their culture explored even more deeply in Predator Badlands. At their core, the Yautja are governed by honor in combat and respect for the hunt. They are drawn to worthy prey, whether it's Dutch in the jungle, xenomorphs in a pyramid, or a Comanche hunter in the Great Plains. As the franchise has progressed, we've seen the same cracks that appear in human societies begin to show up in the Yautja as well. Things such as corruption, internal divisions, and the temptation of power threatening the longevity of their traditions. In Predator and Prey, the Yautja are spiritual warriors. In Predator 2 and AVP, they are ritualists bound by respect for their history. In Predators and The Predator, they are fractured and evolving, questioning what their code even means. And across it all, the Yautja remain bound to the same question that defines all great civilizations. What does it mean to be honorable, and how does that honor square with holding power? So the Predator franchise, it has never simply been about monsters hunting humans. It has been about a civilization testing itself across the stars, bound by the eternal laws of the hunt. And I thank you so much for watching our breakdowns. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified every time we upload a new video. For ScreenCrush, I'm Colton Ogburn.